Very good morning to be to this guy. Right, this is your training program. Why did it?
Sorry. Whoa.
We are very okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Now, to double check that you are in the right class, this course is for tourist guide training program. Today is the 27th of March, and the topic that we're going to deliver will be System of Government.
Wow.
So, are we in the right class?
I don't think so. I will go out.
If it is, you're in the correct class, that's where attendance is required. Okay, please pass it around. Those not in this class have missed out.
Leave.
Okay. Okay, not in this class. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is that on this topic, System of Government, there are three very important things that we want to achieve. Alright, first, you have to gather the information of the topic today. Okay? Yeah? Second, we want you to build a storyline. And the third is to deliver your commentary. Sorry, now the right fast like doctor. Deliver commentary. So these are the three objectives. These are the three objectives that we really need to achieve in delivering this topic of a system of government. Okay, you got this clear? Correct, huh? Objective clear.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Please sit properly. Now, system of government, why is it necessary for tourist guide to actually understand the knowledge? Because while you're guiding, in a way, you're going to be asked this very common question: what is the system of government in this country? Right? And of course, when you pass by the Parliament House, tourists will ask, what is this so unique building, and what are the function of that building? That's Parliament House, yeah? So the system of government. Now today, in what we're going to do, the objective, we are going to run you through three very important understanding of the topic, that is the historical development, the Malaysia governmental system, and the function of parliament. Okay, these are the three important journey that we're going to go into this topic. And by the end of this 20 minutes presentation, we're going to test you a little bit on how much you have understood, your level of understanding. Alright, in these three topics.
You won't ask us which ruling party we are.
We will ask. We will ask. We will ask. Right?
Oh no.
Now, to get a better understanding of the constitution and the independence of the country, we want you to understand the historical development. Right? Historical development is important because it brings us back to the date where, in fact, our constitution was promulgated, and then at the same time where we gained our independence. Right? What year did we gain our independence? You.
Yes.
What year we gain our independence? Give me any date.
1963.
Okay, I was at 1957, yeah? 1957.
Merdeka kita tahu.
Saya serius. Now, begin understanding. Diam. This no joke, government system. Now, we must understand that our constitution was actually built through a commission. And this commission is called the Red Commission. Here was a lot of appeal from quite a lot of Commonwealth countries promulgating a constitution to lead the country independent. Alright, as guides, we must understand that it is the constitution that leads to a country independence. And two very important factors have to be considered, that is self-dependency to be independent in terms of defense and economy. Okay, that's the common factor. So this is Lord William Rich. Rich Commission is responsible for the formation of our constitution that was approved in the year 1957. A day before the Independent Day on the 30th of August. Alright? Now, our constitution is based on what we call a Westminster system. And the Westminster system was originated from United Kingdom. And that particular system is used commonly in most of the Commonwealth countries. Is Malaysia a part of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Right? That's right. So we use the Westminster system. Now, the Westminster system is about democracy, and in certain countries it's democracy monarchy, like what we're having. Alright? And in most parliament, you have double system, either unicameral or bicameral. In Malaysia, we practice this, the Westminster bicameral. That means you have a lower house and an upper house. Alright? Which I'm going to explain to you later on. How many houses we have in Malaysia, in the parliament?
Lower and upper.
Upper and lower. Yes. How many? One lower, one upper. 1 plus 1 is how many? 2. Okay. I'm testing his mathematics. Don't laugh at me. Now, our country is very unique. We have a 3-tier system: federal government, state government, and local government. Local government, you might not hear of it, but it is pertaining to councils like town council, city council, municipal council, and so on, because they make regulation and they can enforce that rules and regulation like city council. Yeah. So federal government is the supreme of the parliament that runs the whole country, but we have state government, that what we call Dewan Negeri. So we need to explain this to all the tourists who are not aware of our system of government. Yeah. What you call state government in a state, in Malay.
State government, Dewan Negeri.
Pandai, okay. This is your gift.
Cannot.
I brought along other gift. You answer. Don't worry. Alright. Now, yeah, our democratic system comprises of 3 branches. As you can see, oops, you can't see now.
On the sun, you want the whole button. Below the green.
Okay. Okay, as you can see, our constitutional system, or what we call our constitution of the institution, comprises of 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judiciary. How many branches? 3. Huh? You're not paying attention. 3, okay. Yeah. Why have 3 branches? Because the separation of power, check and balance system by the Westminster system that I mentioned earlier. First, we have the legislative. Legislative are the people inside that contain what we call the legislator, who makes the rules and regulations. That's the parliament. Yeah.
Is there another term for that person?
Yes, it depends on the houses, because it depends, because in Malaysia we have a bicameral system, lower house and upper house. So we have the Dewan Negara, Dewan Rakyat. So the top is called, don't worry, I come to that later, the flow of the system. Okay. So we have legislator that makes the rules, we have executive that implement the rules, like enforcement. And finally, we have the judiciary, which is court that interprets whether the rule is executed in the right manner. Yeah, so that's the system. Now, earlier talking about people who are in the Parliament House, what they are called. We have the bicameral system, lower and upper. The lower is called the House of Representative, and they are called the House members of the representative, or what we call people elected once in every 5 years to sit in the parliament. Yeah. The upper house is called Dewan Negara. They are called senators. Senators are appointed, right? Senators are appointed. And I give you the numbers of members of parliament in the Dewan Rakyat, which is the lower house, 222. Okay? And of course the upper house, the Senate, yeah? The Dewan Negara, we have 70. How many we have seats in the lower house, House of Representatives? Okay, very good. This for you, this for you. Alright? Yes.
What is the red color?
Okay. Systematically, the senators are appointed. There are 26 senators appointed from the
States.
one state, 2 senators. And then the rest of the 44 senators are actually, they are appointed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Yeah? And 8 of these come from the federal territory, and also the other areas which is under the federal territory of representation. Alright? They are appointed. They are not elected like the lower house itself. Okay? That's where you got all this 26 senators and the rest 2 plus 1 plus 1. That's from the 4. Okay? This will give you a better understanding of the flow of the whole house running. Yeah. Now, we have to explain to the tourists whether what laws can the federal government make and what laws does the state government makes. So as a result of that, there are certain topics that we cannot interfere in the state government. Like for example, the state have authority over land, over public holidays, and the head of a state being the head of the religion. Yeah. And of course, we practices the parliamentary democratic system. We have a monarchy. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong has a state of parliament, and of course, he sits right at the top. And how are laws been made? Well, there is a system that we're going to explain, from bill, readings, finally consent from the king itself. Right? So basically, the function of the parliament, making of laws, approval of budget, managing the country, concern faced by Malaysians, that is issued every now and then. Right? That's how it's been done. So that's one of the 3 areas where we want to cover today. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask you some very relevant questions to what I have actually presented earlier. The first question itself is, what do you call a member of the Senate? What do you call a member who's sitting in the House of Senate? Senator. Correct. Very good. Alright, the second question is that senators, are they appointed or elected? Appointed, right? Very good. And the third one, how many years?
5
years. Wrong. Senators, 3 years. 3 years, correct. Okay, so that's the... Okay, okay. Now, the finishing of this talk, next 2 things that we're going to do is that I'm going to hand out the worksheet, alright, and at the same time, please take note that after the worksheet, there will be 2 follow-up pertaining to this topic. One, we're going to visit the Parliament House in the afternoon. I've called the Prime Minister, he says okay. The second one, after you've returned from the Parliament House familiarization visit, we're going to have a role play. So we're going to have how to role play, how a law has been made, and then it will pass through the lower house, upper house, and consent of the king. Alright? So that will give you a better understanding of how laws are processed and the system of government. Okay? And of course, finally, I would like to remind you what we have gone through. Okay? First, we were talking about gathering information. Secondly, we're talking about using the information to chronograph the storyline. and thirdly to deliver your commentary. Right, and the three important flows that we have ran through, of course, is the historical development. At the same time, we are talking about the Malaysia parliamentary system, what is our system of government, and finally, of course, we have also gone through the function of the parliament. Okay, any questions here before we wrap up the session? Yes.
What are the grey areas in law between the federal and the state?
Alright.
Suddenly,
There are
I'll get back to you.
three
Yes.
sets. There are three sets of guidelines that the state and the federal government conform to. One, federal government, national issues like national security, defense, education. All these policies come under the federal areas. But when it comes to the state, what I mentioned earlier, pertaining to land, public holidays, and religion. But there are in certain areas that what we call compromise area, like for example, national park. National park in the state, they conform to national federal policy. But when it comes to managing, it is a state policy. Because due to the fact that the land belongs to the state, but the policy belongs to the federal government. So that's a long list of which that the state works together with the federal government to manage the country. Yes, any more questions? I hope you enjoy your session. If you do not understand or you want to seek further clarification, that's my handphone number.
Teacher, it went out.
Yes, all
It
right.
went out.
Information.
Yes, it's given out. It's given out.